Welcome to FEMME FLEX Friday. I'm Lenda Murray, along with my co-host Alina Popa, and today we have the Chicago Pro Champion, Alexandria Ross. Welcome.
Hi. Welcome, Alexandria.
Thank you for having me.
Yep.
Hi.
Fresh off of her win, you just qualified for the Olympia.
I did.
Yes.
It feels pretty good.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing. Yeah, so this year you did 4 shows in 2020. This has been a very interesting year with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I know probably the first show that was affected by COVID for all of us was the Miss International, the ARNOLD. And so you were on your way to that. How did that feel starting out your year with COVID? And we had no idea where this year would, how it would end up.
Yeah, it was a lot of uncertainty. That was just at the beginning of COVID. So everybody was kind of unsure if people were making a big deal out of nothing, or and it turns out, you know, it was a real thing. And so it was, looking back, you just have to be so grateful that we were able to step on stage and have the event, because after that everything it shut down, and it was very scary. It was
scary. I remember I was there, and every 2 hours you had new news, you know, like, okay, at this point we will not have any audience, and okay, maybe we'll have some audience. Okay, athletes can be, no, they can't be, they cannot be. Are we gonna be on stage? The expo is canceled. I mean, it was chaos. I agree.
Yeah.
But I feel like the authorities, the federation, I mean, is like they did everything they could to kind of like cooperate with the authorities and make this show happen, right?
Yeah, and they did make it happen, and that was huge, you know.
And you know, what's really curious about that now as we talk about this is, you know, you didn't really find out about the COVID, like you probably had, it was within that week. Am I correct? You were in transition going to it, where you learned of the possibility that the show may not go on, or just confusion.
I think it was the Wednesday prior.
The Wednesday prior, which we know as athletes, we're normally en route, because you want to be on the ground where you need to be, you know, without having to get on and off of planes and all of that transition. So with that said, now let's fast forward to the recent show that you just won at the Chicago Pro, and making a decision and going that long period, because at least prior to you didn't know, but now going into the Chicago Pro, you did 3 shows in 2020. Going into those shows, I'm sure there was a lot going on through your head. So how was that different, preparing for that with COVID?
I took some time off, and it was actually, I know COVID was scary. There was a lot of uncertainty for a lot of people, but it was almost like a blessing in disguise, because it allowed me to slow down, focus on other things. I was lucky enough to still have access to our gym. Don't tell
anybody. That's great. No.
And just focus more on our clients, bettering the program. So it gave me time to focus on things that needed to be focused on, and put energy towards things maybe I was not putting as much energy in. And I enjoyed the downtime. And then heading into TAHOE, which was my first show, I saw the pro shows going and not getting canceled, and so then I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
More confidence about it.
Yes, I feel good, because I mean, that would have been heartbreaking to prep and then have your show canceled that week. So I wanted to wait and see how things panned out.
So you did have 4 shows, right? It took you 4 shows to qualify for an Olympia this year.
Yes.
How about the previous year? Because I know that was your pro debut, right?
Yes, and that was 11 shows.
11 shows in 2019.
Yes, we were collecting points at that point.
That's how you qualified with points, right?
That was with the point system, and they changed it back this year, so it's not the point system.
So what was the time span? How long did it take you, all these 11 shows?
So that was the end of March up until Tampa Pro, the last show you could do. So it was the end of March until August.
Oh, wow.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at your 2019 history, and from that first show in 2019, where at the Governor's Cup, the Pro Bikini, all the way to qualifying and being on the Olympia stage. I mean, you had a variety of different places, and all great. You got a first, a third, a second, a sixth, a fifth, a third, a fourth, 11th. I mean, and I think that's that just shows your heart and your determination to do that. So that's very impressive. And so I guess to the ladies out there competing in shows, hey, you just have to be really focused.
You do, and you can't let one placing or a placing, that can't be what makes you. You know, you have to find your why and why you do it, and that's why you compete. It's for you.
Yes.
So,
oh, well said. Well said.
I'm very big on that. Find your why.
So then let's talk about, let's go back to now. Here it is, 2020, and you decided to, you had to pick those shows wisely. And so your first show in 2020 was TAHOE.
Yes.
And you placed 6th.
I did.
Yes. And then the second one, Battle in the Desert, where you placed 3rd.
Correct.
Yes. And then finally getting to the Chicago Pro and taking home that qualification for the Olympia.
It's very interesting that, Lenda, you said that you pick wisely. Like, when you pick your shows, obviously there are so many shows in the United States, right? How do you pick the shows, right?
So there is strategy behind it. Last year, there was certain judges that I think that favored my look a little bit more than other judges. I didn't have a lot more of like the muscle maturity and density. And then as the year went on, I just kind of got skinny. I mean, that's what happens. You kind of wither away.
Wow.
So it is a lot based on the judging panel. At least last year it was. This year, the strategy was as many different judges as possible. Whether that meant I made it to Olympia or not. Like, I wanted to get feedback. So it ended up working out in my favor well, but I did. I really wanted that this year. I was telling Linda, I was excited. My first show where I placed 6th, I was in front of Bill. He was the head judge, Bill Sibilia. And he gave me some phenomenal, like just very in-depth feedback, like good feedback, not just, lean down. He gave me some exact specific things to work on. And so I knew he was on the panel in Chicago, and I was just so excited because I had worked on those things, and I even saw him at check-ins, and I said, just you wait till you see, like, I've changed. So just going back and making those changes and feeling improved, it's a good feeling.
Alexandria, so tell us, what are your short-term goals and the long-term goals in the industry, in all this beautiful career that you started in the bikini division?
I would say short-term goals, I love goal setting. So my short-term goals are to do better this year at the Olympia than I did at the previous year. I want to show up better, be better. Long-term goals, I love coaching. I love working with competitors and lifestyle clients, but I am really big on goal setting and helping people like manifest and believe more in themselves, because that's something I've really tried to work on a lot, and it's gotten me to where I am now.
Absolutely, it's strategizing and manifesting, right?
I'm a very big believer in it. So I would love to, I've talked with Whitney more about maybe starting to help work with women more, not just on competing, but more mindset. And how to set goals, and why are you doing this, and what are you hoping to get out of this competition? What can you learn from it? Kind of just dig a little deeper with people and really help them get to their goal, but also find other little happy things along the way.
Absolutely. It's pretty much teaching them how to get there with the right positive mindset,
Yes,
right? And it's
yes.
beautiful that, you know, you are already in that mental space and you know how to apply it and teach it forward to your clients. But, you know, I want to ask you, what's happening there at your gym, girls? Because I see you eating donuts and doing all kinds of contests there.
We are competitive. We are competitive. I will think of, it'll be the middle of the night, and I'll think of the weirdest challenge to do. And I'll be like, Whitney, do you want to eat a bunch of hot jelly beans and see who can hold it in their mouth longer? And she'll be like, yes. So, yes, we did a donut competition.
Do you think you can ever win that against Whitney?
I've won a few.
Oh, you did?
Not eating, not the donut. No, she's a monster. She's an animal.
That's funny.
But I have won a few competitions. Like my accent challenge, we do accents.
Okay, I saw that too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm a lot better at those than her. She has, it's hers is Australian for
okay.
everything.
Wow.
So I can win. She can be beat.
It's always good to see when people have fun, you know, going through work, getting things done, accomplishing goals, and having fun at it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so
Yeah.
that's just part of being smart. It's not only, you know, what you do in the gym as far as your training and your diet, but it's also your approach in every way. And you know, let's to say this. Alina was she mentioned that the women were 66%.
Correct,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a
You
big
know,
number.
2/3 of this of the NPC, the IFBB Pro League, and this is one of the things is what I see with bikini competitors. Being a promoter, and you know, you guys, your numbers are great. There are many women out there that know when they see a bikini competitor, they admire you. They have a desire to have your look. They may not have the ability to go all the way and win the Chicago Pro as you did. So what our goal is we want to really educate our audience on what it takes to win the Chicago Pro. So let's first just start with just the basics. When I see you on stage, skin is beautiful.
Thank you.
Hair and makeup. So kind of give us, so in preparing the skin, is there something that you do to really prepare your skin for competition?
Yes, it's a lot of exfoliating. You want to get all that dead skin off, and then you really need to stay hydrated.
Okay.
So I like to actually use a castor oil blended with my lotion.
Okay.
Throughout. Actually, I use that all year long, but really make sure you exfoliate and then hydrate. Because if you don't do that, the tan can get muddy. It can get in those dry spots, your knees and your elbows. It can get a little weird. So you definitely want to exfoliate. for
Yeah, that
smooth,
makes sense.
clean tan.
And I like that point about hydrating. I like that.
Yes.
Big difference.
Feed the skin.
Yes, feed the skin. Outstanding. Now, this is another question in regards to oil. Like, I know what bodybuilders do. We go up there, we look pretty greasy. So you guys, is there a technique in regards to oil? Because when I think of you on stage, I don't think of you with a lot of oil on.
No, so they hit you with a bit, it's called glaze, and it's just a little bit of oil. It's like a tap. It's not too shiny, not too slimy. It's just that, just to give a little bit more dimension and effect, but nothing
That
too
makes
much.
sense. I can tell that. Okay, and in regards to hair, like I noticed at the Chicago Pro, it was very close between you and another female. She had short hair, and you have very long hair, and she rocks it. I love her long hair. But most of the bikini competitors, you guys wear long hair. Do you think that makes a difference?
You know, I think it's based off your physique and shape. A lot of women can rock short hair, and if they have a good upper body, a lot of our women, like a lot of clients, we tell them, you know, maybe do extensions if maybe their upper body isn't as strong, and it can kind of help to hide their weaker points, because you want to hide your weaker points and only accentuate the good parts about
and
you.
that makes sense.
So hair is one way you can kind of work with that.
That's
It's like
right.
a good little cheat.
Yeah, that's a good cheat.
It is a
I
good
know,
cheat.
you gotta use everything.
So, yes, you had Natasha, who had the short hair, but she also had an awesome back,
She
awesome
really
upper.
awesome back.
So she could do it. If you're not so built up top, hello, hair helps.
Okay.
So
Smart move.
Yeah.
All right, and what about tanning? Because what I've noticed is you got your tan just looks natural. Because if you're on the beach and you think about bikini, I don't think of a bikini competitor on the beach with a very, very dark, muddy tan. So what's the process in regards to competitive tan? Natural or really competitive?
I mean, you always have to factor in the stage lights. So it's going to be darker than your everyday natural tan. I actually do the do-it-yourself tan with Pro Tan.
Okay.
And I hand apply, and I love it because it's not sticky and it goes on very clean. And if you have a whoopsies, you can wash it off and keep going. So I like that approach. I know a lot of people get sprayed, and that's great too. I used to do that for years, never had a problem. But there's something about doing it yourself, if you can do it yourself, where it can go on a lot cleaner.
Okay, I like that
I
idea.
nail that technique.
Yeah, really be in control of it.
Yeah.
Okay, and in regards to, let's talk about the suit. And I noticed there's a very big difference. Of course, there's a difference between a bikini competitor suit versus a figure competitor suit.
Yes.
And then one of the first things I noticed is this section here. So
connectors.
let's explain that.
Yes, I actually just got these switched. I did not have these for the show the week before the Chicago Pro. I was going through pictures and I needed them to be thicker. I wanted to add a little bit more curve to my waist. So these are actually very important. Little details that a lot of competitors don't kind of take into account.
So then let's get into the posing. Let's say there are two poses, front and to the rear.
Front pose and the back pose. That is what you're getting judged on.
Yeah. Now I know you said that between your three shows, like the biggest difference is not like a whole lot that you necessarily can change in regards to your physique because you're already in good shape. But you said that night and day difference in the posing, and that's what made the difference from you going to take home that championship. So I learned so much in regards to when the judges would ask you to walk away and walk toward the curtain.
Yes.
Like I just thought that was they were just walking, but then I've learned that you're walking a certain way. So kind of explain what the goal is when you're walking away.
So you're walking in a way where you need to keep your glutes up, but you don't want to look like you're walking in a way that you're keeping your glutes up. You don't ever want to drop your glutes and have that under butt. So you have to kind of find that happy medium of like a nice, slow, sexy walk while kind of keeping everything up. It's not easy. It can be very awkward at first.
Yes, that's what I
And
thought.
you're not in a race. I always like to tell people we're not in a race to get to the back. Just take it slow, take your time, and make sure you're keeping it together.
Okay. So can you just turn to the side and show us, so we would see the angle of like what it would look like as far as keeping your butt up versus keeping it down, so they can see an angle from the side. Yeah.
So like, do you want me to walk a little?
Yes.
Okay, so if I were to just walk, I'm keeping it up, I'm going slow. Whoa, I'm a little off balance. But if I'm gonna go walk, to walk, it's kind of just sad.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there's a difference. I'm
see.
sure there's probably a difference.
Yeah,
It's kinda
there's a
sad.
difference,
So
yeah.
you kind of just want to make sure you have that back arched, and you're just kind of keeping them up.
I see. So very important, the back is arched.
Yeah.
So can you turn to the side and show
Yes.
the audience the difference between the back being arched?
So back is arched right here. And then just kind of like womp, womp, womp. Right here.
All right, outstanding.
It makes a difference.
Yeah.
Your back doesn't feel good. It should hurt.
Yeah, it should hurt.
It should hurt.
So after, I'm sure you really feel it in the morning.
Posing, like I roll before I pose and I roll after. It hurts. It takes a toll.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and so in regards to just transitioning, and do you recommend that women like wear their heels? Because sometimes I see, actually bikini competitors, you guys are really great at your walk. I see some women in figure, and I'm like, honey, did you practice in your heels? So, yeah, you do a great job.
Thank you.
In every way.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so thank you so much for sharing this information. And if you have anything to tell the women that are out there, because this tons of bikini competitors.
Just when it comes to posing, it's always great to watch others, but ultimately you have to find what works for your shape and where you can showcase your personality. When you're trying to be someone that you're not, it always shows. So kind of find your niche, like definitely watch and learn from others, but find what works for you, because that's what's going to be best.
Yes, and that's the best tips from our Chicago Pro Champion, Alexandria Ross. Bye, see you back on the set. All right, we're back, and thank you for that demonstration, because I know that a lot of the athletes out there, they've learned a lot. You've given us some education on the importance that every aspect of what you do, from your hair and your makeup to the type, how should you tan? Should it be a competitive tan? Should it be a natural tan? How about bling? Too much bling. So thank you for educating us on that. Thank you for taking that time and changing into your posing suit, because I know a lot of women tuned in to see this. Thank you so much for being with us.
Of course.
And we're out for Alina Popa Lenda Murray and our Chicago Pro Champion, Alexandria Ross. Ciao.